everyone, well we're here, we're back, and today we're doing yet another anti-MLM video, and the MLM we will be talking about today is Scentsy. And the video we will be reacting to today is how we can make more money with Scentsy. Realistically, this video should be pretty short, sweet, and to the point, and it should just be get out there and sell more product. But I have a strong feeling that may be a part of it, but I have a feeling that the other one may be more heavily encouraged and may benefit the uplines a lot more than somebody in their downline just selling product. Wonder what it could be. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really like it, please subscribe. Make sure to check out my description below for all of my fun links. I have links to my Poshmark, my Patreon, my social medias, my channel members, and my anti-MLM playlist, which has, I think, 135 videos on there. It's got a lot of videos, so if you ever need something to binge, go for that playlist. And with all of that said, let's get started.
This is such an important topic. It's all about how we can make our dreams actually work with Scentsy, how we can take all of these big plans and this life-changing opportunity that we have in our hands and how to take it to the next level to where it really can do something big in your life.
How can every MLM say that they are life-changing? I mean, in certain aspects, definitely of losing money, wasting time, destroying relationships with family members and friends. That's definitely all life-changing for sure. But it's like, you could argue that so many things could be life-changing. I mean, if you maybe like lower your standards or higher your standards, whatever the case may be, but it can't be life-changing and like super unique and wonderful if you could go on any group on Facebook, more than likely, say you're looking for a job, and be bombarded by like hundreds of people saying, well, then join this MLM. Not that life-changing if I can find it all over the place.
So if you're wanting it to just be for fun money or for a pair of shoes or to help make ends meet, that's beautiful. That's life-changing. I remember when we needed, $10 to pay a phone bill, $100 for diapers, and that was life-changing at that time. But as life goes on and as your dreams get bigger and as those needs get met, you have a little bit more ability to dream bigger and lift those sights even higher. So I've got a little picture here and I'll show it later, but here are our two little friends we're going to talk about today. Here is Sally, this way, it's backwards, Sally and June. So just imagine in your mind, we're talking about Sally first. Sally sold 500 PRV. Yay, Sally. Sally got paid $125. That's awesome. June sold 500 PRV. June got paid $725. What's the difference? If they both sold the same amount, they both sold 500. Sally sells 500 PRV every month and loves the extra money every month to pay her phone bill. But Sally never shared the business opportunity with anyone, so her income is limited by how much she can sell. Though she takes great care of her customers and sells at least 500 PRV every month, she will still only make 25 or 30% at most of her sales.
Oh, how horrible that in a sales job that you only, I mean, yeah, I guess there is like a cap on how much commission you can get, but it's like using the words like only. It's like, oh, well, Sally was doing her job of selling the product and didn't want to annoy her friends and family and get them involved in this. But June didn't give a crap and got a bunch of people involved and made more money, because that's how you make more money in MLMs, is by recruitment.
So that's great, but you're leaving money on the table without that opportunity of lifting your sights a little bit higher and being paid on your whole team. So it's not just in the 1+1, you can then multiply it. So let's see what June did. How did June sell the same 500 PRV but make $725? June likes getting $125 every month, but she wanted more money. So she shared the Scentsy opportunity, grew her team, and got promoted to director. It made her nervous at first, but she kept trying because she likes money and likes her team. Not to mention the free trips. Now June is working towards replacing her 9-to-5 and working from home. Way to go, June. So,
they hit everything there. They got free trips in there, clearly recruitment, and June is working towards replacing Scentsy with her 9-to-5, replacing her 9-to-5 with Scentsy, other way around. So yeah, they're hitting all the classic MLM bingo points, I guess.
How many times do we want to be June, but we feel like Sally? They're both selling the same amount, at least for this example in this one moment. But the difference in that pay was $100 to $700. Again, just because of the multiplier of what kind of a business we are in. If we all were completely independent business owners, then we would have to, again, figure out a way to sell more and then to figure out how to multiply that.
Yeah, you would just sell more. I mean, that's how a sales job would work, or how a lot of self-employed people are. I want more money, therefore if you have a product, you're like, I need to sell more product. If you're on YouTube, you're like, I want more money, so you put out more videos. It's something like that. It's not, I want more money, therefore I need to convince a bunch of people to put in a bunch of money so that I make more money. That's a difference. The difference is with a lot of other jobs, if you are an entrepreneur, you're dependent on yourself and maybe other people depending on what it can be. Like if you can hire somebody and bring them along and it pushes out product and production, makes that easier so you can get out more, then that's better. But put more product out. Therefore, you will probably make more money. Not ever guaranteed, but, the more things you have out in the world, the more likely that eyes will be set on that and somebody will purchase it. If you're on YouTube, the more videos you put out, the more views you get, the more money you make. But in an MLM, you're capped. They always say, oh, you're not capped. It's an endless forever, you shattered the glass ceiling. But you only do that if you bring along hundreds of thousands of people with you. It's not selling hundreds of thousands because there is a cap on that. But when it comes to recruitment, there's no cap on that.
Scentsy has already put that into our pay scale where we can sell, but then build a team and help mentor that team and guide and train that team and keep growing that team. And then you get a piece of the whole team. It's basically your leadership bonus, kind of as if you were the store owner instead of just somebody working at the cashiers. Does that make sense? Working as a cashier.
Yeah, but at least a cashier who is arguably, bottom of whatever corporation and company it is, they at least get a base rate. They at least walk in, clock in, make money, leave. Versus people coming into the MLM, they're putting money into it. It's not like somebody who's a cashier is like, all right, better put my money into the register today. They wouldn't do that. That sounds crazy. But in an MLM, it's like, better put my money into the register so that the people above can have it.
Okay, so when we start our Scentsy journey, our dreams are huge and we're like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And our income is a little bit little because it takes a while, but our dreams are still so big. Because you think of all that you want to accomplish and all the sky's the limit when you join, especially when we talk about dreaming big and you think, yeah, I'm going to have this car and I'm going to make my dream board and I'm going to buy a vacation home and I'm going to pay off all my debt, whatever it is that is in your big dreams, but realizing your income right now is probably little. Well, what happens is that life and circumstances and people happen, and for some reason we shrink those dreams to match our circumstances a little bit more. And then we think, this just doesn't seem possible. These big, huge dreams, I gotta make it a little bit more realistic. And then we shrink our dreams to match our income, or at least they get a little bit closer. But where we should be is to keep those dreams big and figure out how to make our income grow so that you don't have to throw those
in maybe a less specific MLM way. I do agree with her, is that if you have a dream to do something, and yes, we do kind of fluctuate of what can work in our lifestyle. Maybe some things are unattainable. I mean, that's just life. But I do think, having big dreams of going places and seeing things, we live in a massive world and we deserve to experience it. And it just sucks at how expensive travel is. I've been talking about traveling a lot with my husband, so it's like front of my mind. But it's definitely something that we want to do and something that we are working towards. So, that's not a small dream or a big dream. It's just it doesn't have to be small or little. Like, you don't have to put a size on it. Also, I feel like she's put dream in my mind. Like in this video, I feel like, how Colorstry is all about the fun. This lady is all about the dream.
Out the window. So if this is our this is our dream, and okay, there we go. If this is my dream and it's here in the far distance, and I get this obstacle come in. Look, I can't see. It literally eats it up to where, there we go, to where this thing is bigger in my face and I can't even see my dream behind it because the obstacles are bigger. But if I make my dreams bigger, then the obstacles are just small. Look, I can still see my dream in that background. But if it's reversed and my dream is small because I don't want to be disappointed in myself, I don't want to fail, I don't want to go for it and say I'm going for it and then not make the mark, then I shrink my dreams. But then look, my obstacles are so big, I can't even see my dreams anymore. So what we need to do is remember, this is possible. It's even bigger than this. It's even this big, if you will. But we've got to make sure, because then you can't change the obstacles. We are going to have obstacles. That's just life. Sometimes they seem bigger than others. But if you can keep your big dream in the background where you can still see over those obstacles. Sorry, that was a really weird object lesson. But again,
she must just be a visual learner, which I am too. But that was a lot of the word dream, and it's also in MLMs, they want you to dream big and have the most incredible why so that it holds you in the business and you're less likely to leave, because they keep saying, well, what about that dream? What about your why? You know, just keep going. This does take a while, but we promise you'll achieve your dreams. In MLMs, they want you to just keep feeding money towards this dream, while in the present, the reality, you're just losing money in hope that one day you may achieve whatever it may be. But for you to achieve that massive dream that you want, let's say it does happen, you have to drag so many people along with you who never get their dreams to be a reality, because in MLMs, it's just not possible.
Dreams big so that when you see those obstacles in your face, they don't hide your dream. You can still see your dream to keep you going, to keep your eyes on the prize. How do you do that? How do you keep your dreams big? That is by, again, just believing that it's there, seeing examples of other Scentsy leaders that are doing it, that are living the life that you want, not to be jealous or even compare, but just to help keep your own dreams, to build that belief within yourself that it is possible. What also helps me is to listen to trainings or even read books about people that have done it, or about how they...
Just a way to manipulate and keep your brain focused on the MLM, you know, your the echo chamber, basically.
They've done it, and then I kind of can carve out and see my dreams a little bit more. It makes them be a little bit more solid. So instead of just being fluff out in the universe, it's, oh, this is really a possibility. This is really happening. I remember sitting at a table. It was my first SFR it was my second SFR in 2009, and in Salt Lake City. And I remember sitting at a table. I was a lead consultant. That was my second one, so I was at least 2 years.
2 years in? So you started Scentsy in 2007? So you've been here for a long time.
In, or a year and a half in, or something like that. And I remember sitting at a table at the awards banquet, and they were giving away cars, and I mean, it was the weirdest thing. They had this, I can't even remember what you did to earn drawings, enters. I don't know if it was number of parties. I was not in the drawings. I was not even close. I was a lead consultant. And I remember sitting there at the table with my husband. We had these fancy little cute desserts that we were munching on. And I was pregnant with my fourth baby, I think. And I just remember looking to my husband and saying, do you think that'll ever be me? And it was fine. It wasn't like a pity moment. It was just a wonder of, is this really real? I see it's real for them. And that was kind of a light bulb moment of, you know, I have been doing it just because, again, we needed a little bit of money for diapers, and money was so tight that even $100 made a huge difference in our life. But that kind of moment where I saw it really working for somebody else, and I saw other people up on stage as superstar directors, and I was a lead, and I hadn't really allowed myself to fully embrace that I could be there.
And that's why they have those kind of conferences, and I was going to call it a meet and greet, but like, those are kind of also their, like, vacations that they talk about, where they just talk about Scentsy and, like, acknowledge people, and they all say, you can be here in a year, you could be the next one on stage. Doesn't this seem amazing? They make it, like, lights and flashes and the positive words. They want everyone to have that moment that she had. It's like, I could be there if I just keep going and I just keep putting money in, then I can be there too. It's this blind hope, I guess, of wanting to be up there on stage, because they do praise them like they're celebrities up there. And it's very weird and very culty, in my opinion, to see how much they praise these women for taking advantage of so many other people.
And it's not just available for anybody. It's not just out there, but it's available for me. And I could do it too. And that's my biggest takeaway for you. The money, the title, the importance, the whatever it is that you're looking for, it is possible for you. The biggest dreams you can dream of, keep them big, keep them growing, keep them vibrant, because that's how you're going to get over the obstacles. And what are the obstacles? It's recruiting, it's sponsoring, it's growing. Those are so hard. They're going to be in the middle. They're scary, they're tough, you have to go outside of your comfort zone, you have to do things you have never done, and then you have to switch it up and try something else again that you've never done. It is a process, but it's a beautiful process because it's the only way you can get to those goals. It's the only way that you can be like our friend June.
Scentsy seems to be, I know I've probably reacted to a different MLM, but Scentsy just straight out is like, yeah, recruitment is how you make money. That's how you're going to achieve your dreams and make the big life-changing money, is from recruitment. How? And then they'll say, well, we're not a pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes are all about recruiting. That is how people make the money. So how are you saying in Scentsy that the only way you can make good money, life-changing money, is recruitment, yet you're not a pyramid scheme? Connect the dots for me, or disconnect the dots for me, because I've connected the dots pretty, A, B, makes sense. But somehow they go from A to, they just zigzag, and they're just like, no, that's illegal.
Instead of Sally. Be like June and sell at least your 500. Go for the stars. Do at least your 2,000 if you can, or more. But either way, tapping into that, June tapped into the power of her dreams. And Sally worked just as hard at getting that PRV. Maybe she even sold more, but she got paid way less. You can even see the potential. So this is an old income disclosure statement that I love using, and I loved when we used to have it because it shows the actual numbers of potential. This was clear back from, I don't even know when. It was years ago. It was one of the first one they made us do. And I'll find it and put it in if you guys are interested. But so it's this really old one, and you can see that I've...
Did you grab the oldest one you could possibly find? I'm pretty sure the most current one that they have is 2020, and I hate the way they have it because they don't have it laid out like this, because I think they realized how horrible this looks. So it's like, this amount of people make no money. But so many of these top leaders will pivot and say, well, look at the bottom. And they'll never say how less than 1% of people make this amount, but they're like, look at these people. They're making millions. That could be you. And it's like, yeah, but if you look at the top where there's like 90% of people, maybe 80%, pretty much, it's usually like, what, 95% of the company sits making no money. And this also doesn't count for buying product, which in Scentsy, you buy a lot of product. So I don't know. It just, every single MLM, when they do release their income disclosure statement, it always says exactly what we thought, that nobody makes money besides the top 1%. And how do they do it? Recruitment.
Sorry, it's backwards. I'm really not good at this. You can see where I've circled two different numbers. So in this chart, it basically just has all the ranks. So everything from essential, certified, lead, star, superstar, consultant, director, star director, and superstar director, and number of consultants per title, and the average that they make at that title. Fascinating. The minimum, and then the max, like the highest amount that anybody's paid. So the maximum annual commission, so the most anybody made as an essential consultant is that year, I guess, is $199.87 as an essential. And that's probably because if they sold much more than that, then they turned to a certified. But still, the maximum annual commission for the essential is this little tiny number here, about $200. And then you go down to the bottom of the chart.
And how many people do they have to have underneath them for this like special, wonderful dream of a number?
And let's see what the maximum is for the superstar director. At this time, whenever this was made, the maximum annual commissions for superstar director was $962,153.18. So is that $200 a year life-changing for somebody? Absolutely. I know.
$100 in a year? In a year. A year. I mean, maybe some extra money here and there, but you could sell some stuff around your house in a month and get more than that.
I know it was for me. Like I said, I'm not even joking. I had to pray to find $10 to pay my phone bill 1 month. So even $200, that can be big. So don't discount that. But your big dreams, the big things, the big mountains that you can move in your life, that happens when you're knocking on the door of $1 million a year. So meaning there are people that do that. I'm not making $1 million a year, just full disclosure. But we made enough income disclosure statement that, results are not typical and you can do whatever you want, but it's not guaranteed. But my husband lost his job 5 years ago, and we were able, as a star director, I became superstar director in 2020 after 10 years at star director. Not 10 years as a consultant, but 10 years at star director. So it's okay if you're like, oh, this is taking me forever. I've been here forever. I just can't get past star consultant. It's okay.
People don't have 10 years to wait. That's the thing about these MLMs is, they make it seem so attainable so quickly. Like, we have all the things in place. We have these trainings. We have everything that you need to start the ground running and you're good. But then they're like, oh, but don't be upset if this takes years. Years to accomplish. People don't have years to make this work. People don't have the money to be putting into it for years in the hope that maybe it will work. Some people do, obviously, but majority don't. So that's why so many people leave after a certain amount of time, because they're like, I'm not making any money. Like, I gotta go. And they're like, oh, this takes years. I don't know why you're getting out now. And it's like, because you made this seem attainable. You made this seem easy. You said you had all these systems in place. Everything is in place for us. And all we have to do is go out and sell. Well, after you put in so much money and are in there for so many months, you're probably going to get discouraged and leave. And that's very common. But they always have a rebuttal for everything in MLMs.
Hey, it's okay. There is no race but your own. And if you're like, oh, I just need to speed it up, that's okay. Then run a little faster yourself. But don't get discouraged if your journey is taking a little bit longer than somebody else's, because mine took a long time. But I was still able to help provide for our family on a star director income because of the business that I built slowly but surely in the nooks and crannies of the days with my kids, because they're my first job. They're my first priority. I have 5 kids. And I was able to do it to where my husband took 4 years to find a job that he really wanted, because he could be super picky and he could be home with the kids. He could coach all of their basketball and soccer and all the different teams. He never had to miss a school play. He would go volunteer in the classroom with me when we used to be able to do that pre-COVID. Just all the things, because that's what he wanted for that space of time. And he didn't want to go to a job that wasn't going to be a perfect fit for him. So that allowed us the freedom to have that opportunity. And if that's not your dream, you want something different, that's great. But for me, that was my dream. It was my dream to be able to have the life that we wanted, to have the freedom that we wanted. So again, that can only come with money. We don't do it for the money, because you'll never be fulfilled for money. But the way to your dreams is by making money. I have this, but I've kind of amended it a little bit. But I have this other chart that I like to show. How should I spend my time and where should I focus at each level? So at the beginning, you start out, you don't have a team, so you're not really leading your team. So you start out with recruiting and with sales, even as an essential consultant. Why? Because that's really the way that you can really piggyback and go faster. And then you continue to mentor and to lead your team, because again, the whole idea, we don't get paid for just dumping people in our team. Some other direct sales do. You get paid every person that you bring in simply by, you get like a recruiting bonus. We don't do that, which is fine. But we get to be paid on them for the whole duration that they stay with us on our team because we get to mentor and help them along.
How they like view it is like because you don't get like a recruiting bonus in certain MLMs, that is what makes them not a pyramid scheme, but yet you get paid from their sales and how many people you have below you. You get basically a forever paycheck for doing absolutely nothing besides having recruits underneath you. Just because you don't get paid for that specific person, like a $50 for every person that joins, even though sometimes some of them do, it doesn't matter. You're getting the majority of the money made in MLMs is via recruitment, and that is the problem. Doesn't matter how they want to word it, how they want to compensate you for whatever. It's the problem that the way people make money in MLMs is only recruitment. Mainly recruitment. I'll give them the sales, but again, they cap it out at a certain level.
I don't view it as being weird or a pyramid scheme as some would.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't. You never will admit to that because that's how you make your money. The majority of how you make your money is via recruitment, which is pretty much what you have said in this. And of course you're going to say, no, I don't view it as a pyramid scheme. None of them are ever going to admit to that.
Would, because it's just like if you're the boss, you're the manager over people, and if your boss, like my husband worked for Walmart, he was an assistant manager straight out of college.
Did he get paid extra money for every time somebody sold items in the store below, like that they're selling the product and telling the person to also be a cashier? Did he make money when more people would become cashiers because other cashiers would recruit customers? Did that happen? No, didn't think so. So this is this argument will not at all matter.
For a couple years while he was waiting to, anyway. And he was an assistant manager. There was the manager of that Walmart store made a bonus based on how well his store did. That's the same thing we do.
It's not at all the same thing. Also, all the people in his team were getting paid a base rate depending on what level they were at. But you can't say that. You can't say that the people just starting in are making X amount of money because that's not how it is. If they buy in, they do have to sell. But if they really want to make money, then they recruit. And then those people at the bottom start at zero. At least any job that you sign on for, you may not make the most money, but you know by clocking in those hours and working, you make money from those hours. In MLMs, you work forever, never make money.
We just don't have to manage a store. We get to be answering to ourselves. We get to be the boss. So don't act like the employee where I'm just going to sell more. And the more people I ring through this cashier, the more people, the better my score is. That's great. And I see a lot of consultants do that. And they stay by if I sell 3,000 this month, then I can even promote. Don't get caught in that trap. That's a beautiful way, and I'm not saying don't sell, but I'm saying don't try to get to your rank by personal sales alone. Don't try to stay paid at title by personal sales alone. Use your sales to springboard you to find new team members and help them and continue.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know if I've ever heard somebody say basically, no, you need to get team members. Like it's great if you want to make rank by just selling. It's great if you want to, you figured it out of I need to sell X amount per month in order to make this much, and that is what I want. It's like, that's great, but don't get stuck in that trap. Don't get stuck in the trap of selling the product. You need to recruit because it benefits the uplines. Selling doesn't benefit the uplines. I mean, it does in the group volume, whatever, but recruitment benefits the uplines, and that's how the uplines can recruit. That's how the uplines can rank up, is from having more people ranking up because of recruits, not because of sales. She literally is telling people that they have to recruit and that it's like a trap. Oh, you just want to sell the product? That's great, but don't do that. Also recruit. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe I can, but I can't.
continue your personal sales. But that way you are not the whole team, but that you're all doing it together. And
no, but if you want to be your own boss, then just selling the product, selling however much you want, and knowing that, okay, if you're comfortable making $500 extra a month and you know that you just need to like sell X amount and that person's fine with that, that's fine, because they want to be their own boss. They want to, go out and sell the product. They don't want to worry about downlines and getting those downlines with downlines. It becomes not just on you anymore. It becomes now you're dependent on the team. And if someone in the team leaves, then you got to find more, and so on and so forth.
Springboard you to find new team members and help them and continue your personal sales. But that way you are not the whole team, but that you're all doing it together. And here's the cute little bucket. So our bucket has leaks. So what are our buckets? Our personal sales and our sponsoring are the two things that we control going into that bucket. And that bucket is how we move up the chart and how we make money. So why is that bucket? What are the holes in that bucket? When directors promote, they take it out of your team, wholesale volume, because they go and start their own team. And turnover or leakage or breakage or whatever you call it, people quit, or even if they don't quit, they just kind of coast because maybe life comes along. That's normal. That's how it's supposed to be. So how do we plug the holes? You don't. You just have to keep more coming in. That's why I say personal sales, that's awesome. But also you have two levers. You have to have sponsoring as well, because
you don't have to, but you do have to. You do have to, because it benefits the uplines. And I guess it does benefit the person, but I just cannot believe that she is like, yeah, the selling thing is fine. And she even mentions the words pyramid scheme, and she is really going hard on this recruiting thing and thinks that it's still not a pyramid scheme because those are illegal.
That's the only way that you can keep your bucket full. If that sounds discouraging, don't let it be discouraging. Just realize sometimes I'm higher revved in my business than others. And so your team's going to be the same way. And if something changes and they're like, okay, I need this again, or I'm pumped up again, or life has slowed down a little bit, I want to come back in, great. But if not, we give them that opportunity to choose. So I started in 2008, and these are a bunch of colors, and I will, yes, keep filling the bucket, because that's the only way. Even as a superstar director, I have to keep filling that bucket so that my team wholesale volume can be big enough to keep growing new leaders, because again, that leaves my bucket, as well as to have enough in my own bucket to be paid at title. If you are not paid at the title that you are, paid at title means if you are a lead, you're paid as a lead. If you're a star consultant, you're paid as a star. If you're a director, you're paid at director. If you're a superstar, you're paid at superstar. So paid at title means paid at that title that you have, the highest title you've ever achieved. So if you are a star consultant and you're paid as a lead, you're not paid at title. You're paid as a lead, so you're paid on some. You still get that leadership bonus. But the more you can be paid as a star, that's when you're paid at that title. And you do that by making sure those three pillars of your paycheck or your rank are there. One, your 500 PRV. You have to have at least 500 PRV, as you all know, because you're all leaders. So your own 500 PRV. And then, of course, your active frontline. If you only have 2 and you need 2 to be a star, well, again, that's going to be putting pressure on them to do something that you need them to do, but they might not be doing. So again, it's not enough to just say, okay, I have 2 frontline, I should be always paid at star. Plus, you need to be growing and always looking to the next level or 2 ahead. So you need at least 3, but it depends on how active those are. And if your average is about 50% active, then you need 4 so that you can have at least 2 be active, be paid at star consultant every month. And if you need 3 to be director, well, then you ought to get at least 6 or 7 or 10, because like I said, you never know when they're going to start out gangbusters and then something else distracts them or life happens and then they decide that, oh, I'm just going to coast for a while, and then they don't do it. That's totally normal. That's totally fine. We cannot want our goals and our dreams to be pushed onto them, because then you'll be frustrated. You'll be dragging them along. So you don't want to push them. You don't want to pull them. You want to partner with them and say, this is my goal. What's your goal? Let's help each other. Let's go together. And if they're like, oh, my goal is really active every 6 months, great. Now you know what they need. And then you can help them at their level. That's my favorite thing is I hear a lot of people say, well, I have all these team members, but they're doing nothing. How do I make them get more active? Well, you can't. We can influence them as leaders. So my favorite thing is to not feel like I am bugging them. I ask them every month. I send them a link to a Google form. Just, hey, what's your goal for the month? In sales, in sponsoring, in just activity, like what are you aiming to do this month? And how can I help you? And then they send that in, and they send it in for a little prize, just something little teeny tiny, like a little sticker or something. Like I don't give big prizes, but just something to help them follow through with the things that they want.
I'm like children. Like if you give in this, if you send me in this assignment of what your big dreams are, then you get a sticker so that I can hopefully manipulate you to buy into Scentsy and recruit, and that way it gets me more money.
Just something to help them follow through with the things that they want to do, because we all need a little help. And then when I contact them through text or a PM or a call or even just an email to my whole team, I don't feel like I'm bugging anybody because they've already said they have that goal. And I'm also not projecting my goal onto them because I'm just helping them. Remember, I'm partnering with them and they've said they want to sell 200 this month. So I'm going to check on them and be like, hey, how's that coming with your goal? Because then it's not like, well, I think you can sell 200 this month. What do you say? Then it's my goal on them. Does that make sense? It's totally different. And then it feels like I'm creating the goals and I'm pushing it on them or I'm dragging them along. Doesn't that sound good? It's a little manipulative. So I like to ask them what their goal is and help them find a goal that will be their goal.
It's still manipulative. It's still you using their goals against them, I guess, as a way to boost you and get you more money and keep people in the business.
That way they're in the driver's seat and they're owning it. And then I'm just helping them. And then I get to be their mentor, their coach, their biggest cheerleader. We can brainstorm. We definitely can influence them and help with that momentum. Everybody needs that. But just be careful not to give them your goals or to prescribe your goals onto them because it doesn't work. And then it'll make you feel frustrated and it makes it feel heavy. For me, at least, that's when leadership gets heavy, is when I try to, well, because as leaders, we see the potential. So when I try to see and project what I see in them onto them, and if they're like, nah, that's when it gets heavy. Because I'm like, oh, you could be doing so much more with your business. You have this potential. You have this, whatever. And if they don't want it, then they ghost you or they just don't want to do it. So that's a little word to the wise that I have done for a long time. Don't want it more than they do. So, okay, back to these crazy little charts. I told you I squirrel. I'm so sorry. That's just how it is. Hopefully it's entertaining. But so here is oh my gosh. Where is my paycheck comes from each source. Again, don't try to read it. Just look at the colors. Just notice that here at the beginning, here's 2008. See this big blue line? See how high it goes up? This was the whole year. So again, this is a year overview. See how high this blue line goes up? That is PRV for the percentage of my paycheck. So this first year, all of this was my own sales and then the monthly bonus and monthly sales. There's no director generation bonus because I didn't have a director. So that's my own personal wholesale volume bonus and my PRV. So you can see this blue line, which is again my own sales, my own efforts. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So the percentage when I get here, so remember here, it was like 95% of my income came from me, or maybe even 100. Well, 95% was, and I still had downline bonus because the green is my frontline team wholesale volume. So you can just see that this, almost all of this, 95% of this came from my own sales, my own efforts, and 5% came from my team. What you can see is that continues to shift and the blue gets less and less and less and less and less. The green is my team and the purple is my directors. Sorry guys, this is backwards, so I'm doing a horrible job of this. But as you can see at 2016, look, you can hardly see the little blue. Does that mean I quit selling? No, because of course we have to do at least 500. In fact,
have to, otherwise it totally makes you look exactly like what you are, a pyramid scheme.
If anything, I am selling more now, but the percentage of my paycheck is now less than 5% of my own sales, and 95 comes from my team and my group. And this was before I was a superstar director, so there was a lot of third generations that I wasn't even tapping into. That's where the money comes.
She says all this with no thought process. It's like, look, the more you're in and the more you have recruits, the less you have to sell and worry about that stupid selling thing. So you make all your money from other people via recruitment, promising them on this dream and this wonder and this whatever. Absolutely disgusting.
First generation, you get 3%. Second generation, you get 4%, and you get 5% of your third generations. So it's okay. I tried to, if your team grows and if you have, oh, here's another really strong, another thing that I see. If you recruit somebody and she's amazing and she gets this really strong leg under you, and maybe she even gets higher than you, a lot of times I see the person saying, oh no, I should quit. And that even happened with me. One of my girls, her name was Mary, and I recruited her in Scotland. She was a referral of a friend. Anyway, she recruited in Scotland and she was doing awesome. And she recruited this girl named Lindsay, and Lindsay just took off. So she started recruiting, and so Mary, the person who actually sponsored her, she was like, oh man, I'm behind. She's promoting ahead of me. So instead of using that to say, okay, I just need to recruit some more, my friend Mary saying, okay, she's a great strong leg, I'll just get another one and then that'll help push me up. She quit. And she actually was like, okay, I'm failing. She's doing better than me. I can't keep up with her. And she used it to just fail and quit.
Because she probably realized I cannot get as many people as she is. Like, I maybe wanted to recruit one person or maybe like two just because you told me to. But I mainly wanted to do the sales thing, but then to see somebody like making way more money than you. And the only way to do that is recruitment. And maybe this Lindsay person, maybe Lindsay and Mary are in the same friend group and Lindsay recruited all of their friends. So Mary's like, I got nobody, so I'm out.
I didn't think she failed. I think she just did great to find somebody who wanted to do it. So if that's you and you're feeling jealous or outshadowed or a little comparing yourself and feeling like, well, I'm not nearly as strong as this girl underneath me, see it as the biggest blessing of your life, because she will help you with that group and team wholesale volume. And then when she pulls out, she will always be there with your group wholesale volume. And she will get you some second and third generation directors that will multiply your business. So if this is you and if you're in those, if you're in that seat and you're like, well, I'm doing all right, but man, I've got this rock star underneath me, but she's outshining me. Embrace it, support her, celebrate her. Even if she is above you in rank for a little while, once you get to director, you'll be the same. It's okay, and you'll still be paid off of her. So if you are
Exactly, like they will use this argument in MLMs and be like, you can outrank people, like you can make more money than the person that recruited you. Right, but that person who recruited you can still make money off of you and the people that you recruit. So I don't know why that also disproves the pyramid scheme theory, because you're still making money off of those recruits.
Star consultant right now, and you have somebody who's a superstar consultant who is really your downline, and you're like, oh, I'm not even getting paid off of her. Count that, like I said, as your biggest blessing, because she's helping you with that team wholesale volume to help push you up. And once your
worry is that you recruited someone and you're not getting the money because you recruited them, that's gross and clearly just not where you should be. You just should not be even thinking about that. It's like, oh, I recruited this person, I'm not making money off of them. That sucks. I need to quit. That's not why you need to quit. That's a gross way of thinking.
Your director, you'll recoup that. Not recoup it, but you'll be able to be important in your level, meaning
you'll be able to be important. So I know that she may have just like used like the wrong word, but is she arguably saying that if you're below and you're not really making much money, so you're at a starting one, you're not important? Even though the people at the bottom of MLMs are the most important people. They are the whole reason that the top thrives. So to say, oh, I'm not important, anyone who is below are the most important people.
That's an important place that you can be the same level as a director underneath you and you're paid on her again. So just keep a long-term view that, remember, you're going for the big dream. I've also seen other people in years past, like I said, I've been around for a while. That doesn't mean I know everything. It just means I've seen a lot. Another downfall that I've seen is when people see downline underneath them and they want to have them take a non-leadership role, or they kind of discourage them from promoting because they're like, well, if you are an essential or a certified, I'm making 9% off of you. But once you promote to a lead, then I'm only making 7, and then I'm making 5. And so they kind of, it's horrible to say because they're not doing it to be mean, but they kind of tamp down that fire of their downline because they're like, well, if I can grow faster, then I can be ahead and then I can keep making more off of you, which makes sense compensation plan wise for this very second, but only for this second. So again, like I said, let those shooting stars shine, encourage them, train them, push them, let them even outshine you. It's totally good. That is the beauty of our Scentsy compensation plan. Once you're a director and a star director and a superstar director, it will be one of your greatest benefits to have a nice strong leg. So anyway, enough on that. So hopefully you guys have gotten the vision that the opportunity is there. The money is there. Whether you just joined last month and you shot up to lead and you're just on the fast track, or whether you are kind of on a slow boat, the opportunity has not passed you by. The opportunity is here. It's now, and you can make it happen. But you have to sponsor. You have to put on those recruiting glasses and look everywhere for who can join your team. Find ways to make that part of your sales. I see a lot of times people just focus so much on sales that they never go beyond. When you pack up your stuff for somebody to come buy from you, a lot of times we're thinking, well, how do I get them to buy again next month? I'll put in a flyer of the month, or I'll put in the new, a cute little catalog cover so that they know all the products so they keep buying from me. That's amazing. That's super, super important. But you also have...
I knew she would say but. It's like, yeah, the whole selling thing, like however you want to do it is okay, whatever. But you need to recruit because that's how people above rank up and that's how people make more money. That's why I showed you at the beginning is that sales are kind of like, whatever, it's not great money. You have to recruit if you want to make money. And you have to recruit to make more money, which then leads to uplines making more money, which then leads to top 1% making the most money. And it's how they make the $1 million is by just having an endless supply of downlines. It's not being the most amazing salesperson. No, it has nothing to do with that. They literally could just They literally could just sit back and do nothing and just, I guess, personally buy what they need and then probably sell it to whoever if they want to, and that way they're still active while downlines are working tirelessly, losing money, losing sleep so that they can live out their dream.
To be always on the lookout for referrals. If they don't want to join you, who do they know that might want to join you? And for potential hosts, because again, if your circle is only this big, you've got to expand it because there's no way you can get to your SSD potential by keeping the same circle so small. You've already talked to all the people that you know and asked them to join you, and they've already said no. Okay, great. They might even be on the slow simmer. Maybe you'll ask them again, but you're looking for people right now who are ready to join you right now because they need the same big dreams happening as we do. So, all right, enough for me. Do you guys have any questions, anything about the compensation plan, about being paid at title, what some of those look like, anything about I'm an open book, so if you guys want to ask me any tough questions about my business or how I got there or what it looks like, I'm all yours. So, and then I'll hop off because I know that your time is valuable, but you've got me for a minute or two. So if there's anything you guys want to ask, come on in. Like I said, don't be afraid because I'm not afraid to talk about stuff either. The good, the bad, the ugly. Like I said, I've kind of been through it all. And money freedom. And that is the opportunity that's here for all of us. So anyway, dream big, whatever that means for you. If that means to buy a brand new Range Rover because you just really think that's really cool, use that to propel you. If your dream is to I don't know, whatever your dream is, to buy a nice house, or to buy a second house, or to buy a boat, and again, all this sounds like money. Money will not fulfill you, but those memories that you make, and that choice that you get to say, do I want this or not, instead of can I afford this or not, that is what helps us keep bringing it all back around. That's what helps us keep that dream bigger than our obstacles. So you have to dream. If you're like, well, I'm happy with my life, I don't want to be selfish, or I don't want to seem ungrateful, so I'm just going to keep a little tiny dream. Again, it will be bigger, then your obstacles will be bigger than your dream. So remember, keep your dream bigger than your obstacles, because that will help you be able to see over those obstacles and keep you moving forward. So anyway, you guys are the best. Have a great evening. Thanks for coming to share this little bit of time with me. You guys are great. Keep up the great work. You can do it, and we'll all be cheering each other on as we go. So, all right, have a great evening. Bye.
Bye, Scentsy lady. Wow. I like how she almost kept catching herself talking about like all the things that she's bought and all the wonderful things that she's been able to do. She's like, but it's not about the money, because like if money drives you, then that's bad. It's like, but that wasn't that the whole point of this, was like how to make more money in Scentsy, how to 10x your current income, talking about all the wonderful things that different ranks can do for you, and that if one of your friends is making more money than you, then don't be discouraged. Like, just keep going and get more people, because then you'll be at that rank and you'll be making a bunch of money off of that person. It's like everything in MLMs is about money. But they don't want you to think that right at the beginning, because you are going to be so discouraged with how much money you're losing, how much money you will have to put into this business in order to, you know, get people maybe involved. You know, lots of dangle the keys, which is just free samples that the individual has to purchase themselves. I guess I don't mean like dangle the keys, but it's like, you know, when you give people free things, they are more likely to at least like pay attention to you, I guess, because, you know, they gave you something, and I feel like as humans, we're like, oh, okay, we'll give them a little bit of attention because they gave us something. And certain people, depending on the circumstance they have going on, maybe they are like, this is the opportunity that I've been asking for because I'm in so much debt, or because I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but I can't do that right now. This is the job to do it. But how many people have 13 years to make that happen? And of course, with certain MLMs, or maybe just certain people, it's going to be quicker than others. You just never know. I don't know. I just still cannot believe that this whole thing was just basically, hey, I know you really want to like sell the product, but like kind of do that along with recruiting a bunch of people, because that's how you will make the most money. Did that make your guys' jaws drop like it did mine? Because I feel like I have forcibly been having to keep mine up since she said that. Alright, you guys, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really, really liked it, please subscribe. Let's talk anything and everything Scentsy and their absolute love of recruitment and total openness to being a pyramid scheme in the comments below. And until my next video, I will see you guys then. Bye!